It's Mother's Day. Let me show you a picture of my mom and grandma. I don't know if you've ever seen, this is the lady that really kind of formed me as a young man, along with my mom, Grandma Lou. She always dressed sharp. Hair was always done. She was always nifty looking and elegant lady. That was Grandma. I kind of looked like my grandma, actually. And here's one of our favorite pictures of Mom in the dirt. That's Mom, no makeup. My mom was the happiest, right, Judy? Right, Juanita? My mom was the happiest when her fingers were in the dirt, planting something, harvesting something, pruning something. She loved being outdoors. Let me show you Carla's mom 71 years ago. Beautiful girl. She's about 1945, I think we figured, in high school. See Carla's dimples. That's where my Carla gets her dimples. And then let me show you one more mother, one more mother. That's my mother right there. That's my, Carla led me to Christ, got me to church. So Carla is my spiritual mother, which is a little weird, sleeping with your spiritual mother. I think some grandsons have a little something for you, honey. Grandsons, where are you? There you are. Thank you, boys. Come on, Jaden, tell Grandma you love her. Attaboy. Give Grandma a kiss. He's all embarrassed. Yeah, we love Carla. My mom, Judy, Juanita, my sisters, Barry Wenders, my mom loved to play cards. I mean, she loved, ever since I was little, Mom was playing solitaire, and then her and my stepdaddy, they loved to play, pinochle, canasta. I think they even played bridge. You ever hear of whist? W-H-I-S-T, whist, or hearts. Now, in some card games, family, there's a card called the trump card, right? The trump card. Let me show you. No, not Donald Trump. There's a couple of cards right there. Let me leave that up this was 4 years ago when I was invited back to Mr. Trump's office to advise him on running for president, and Creflo Dollar, myself, and Joni, and Marcus, and we said no. Why would you want to run against an incumbent who's popular, President Obama? He said, just be Donald Trump. You do Donald Trump very well. Well, he didn't invite me back this year. I guess he didn't like my advice. Well, about a month ago, Carl and I were in Florida. This is funny to me anyway. So I showed that picture to a pastor friend of mine. And I said, looks like Mr. Trump has picked his running mate. And I showed him the picture. And he goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a senator. Isn't he a senator? And I'm staring at him. I'm looking at him. He goes, no, I think he's a governor. He's a governor. Let's see. He's a governor of a, have you met him? And I'm looking at him. And I said, Pastor, that's me. And then he looks again, he goes, well, yeah, it does look like you. Are you really? I said, no, I'm joking with you. I have a job. I like my job. But anyway, let's show some real cards. There we go. Trump card. There's a game called Texas Hold'em where you have hole cards. I was listening to Robert Morris, great pastor, big, beautiful church, Gateway Church in Dallas. And I like to listen to his sermons just for my own blessing, edification. And one recently was, don't show the devil your trump card, or don't show your trump card. And his example was this. Pastor said he was counseling with a woman, and this is what she said. If my husband does this one more time, I'm divorcing him. Well, guess what she just did? She showed the devil her trump card. Now the devil knows exactly what to go after her husband, and with temptation, and to get him to do this one more time. And she said, I would divorce him. Listen, when you and I should have brought a deck of cards with me. When you and I got saved, we had to give Jesus all our cards. We had to give Jesus all our cards, our whole cards, and everything. And he gave us like a new deck. And you flip the card, it's forgiveness, it's love, it's mercy, it's helping, it's giving, it's all these wonderful fruit of the Spirit. Amen? That's the new deck of cards we have. But I'm going to share a little story about a lady who really knew how to use the trump card in a positive way. So hang with me just a little bit. Last Sunday, we talked about three men. We talked about the prodigal, this young, wild teenager, wine, women, song, and more. The self-righteous brother who thought he never made a mistake or ever committed a sin. And the merciful father who, I love that, where he lifted up his robe and ran after the prodigal son, even though it's shameful to do that in antiquity, in ancient custom. He didn't care. He wanted the shame to come upon him and not his son. So we're gonna move from that, and we're gonna talk about a desperate mother in just a moment. But I like this. Let me show you a picture of mom. Look what mom is upside down. It doesn't matter if mom's right side up or upside down. She's wow, and she's mom. Beautiful. But here's some famous M&Ms. Let me see some. Well, not those M&Ms. I do like those. Here we go. All right, here we go. Moms, look at the M&Ms here. Masters of motivation, makers of memories, makers of meals, makers of the manor, mayor of mandates, magistrate over mayhem, and mentor to minors. How well I know that, growing up with a mom and a grandma. Matthew 15. One portion of scripture, won't keep you long. Matthew 15, look at verse 21. Let's read a little bit. Then Jesus went out from there and departed to the region of Tyre and Sidon. Let's stop right there. Sidon means fishery. Sidon was one of the most important cities of this region. Actually, they say glass many thousands of years ago was kind of the way to make glass came from Sidon. The color purple, which is the color of royalty, really came from the area because of shellfish, because these are coastal cities north of Israel in what today is Lebanon. And so these were very, very important cities during the time of Jesus. But remember, where did Jezebel come from? Sidon. She was the daughter of Ethbaal, who worshiped Baal and Asherah, this very evil, wicked queen of Israel, married for convenience to weak Ahab to try to unite these two areas together. So here is Jesus. And my question over the years is, why would Jesus leave the homeland and travel into pagan country? Now, the history, you go back during the days of Elijah, and you have Jezebel, you have all this Canaanite worship. But about 332, 334 BCE, Alexander the Great, on his quest to conquer the world, of course, this area was conquered, so Alexander brought in Greek culture, Greek gods. Well, move up 300 years or so, now it's the Roman Empire, so you have this hodgepodge, this eclectic mix of ancient Canaanite religion, you have Greek culture and their religions, philosophies, and now you have Roman religions and philosophies. Very, very few Jews actually lived or migrated into this region. What is Jesus doing? Why is he taking his boys to this area? I'm sure they were wondering themselves. Well, watch what happens. Verse 22, behold, a woman, a mother, if you will, of Canaan, Canaanite, idol worshiper, came from that region and cried out to him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. Wow. How does she know? How does she know Jesus is Lord, Son of David? She's a Canaanite. My daughter, she's a mother. My daughter is severely demon-possessed. But he answered her, not a word. His disciples came and urged him, saying, send her away, shoo her away, get rid of her. She's driving us crazy. She's crying after us. But he answered and said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now, if I was one of the disciples, I'd say, yeah, so what are we doing here? What are we doing here? We're around all these crazy idol worshipers. Of course her daughter's demon-possessed. These people worship idols. When you worship idols, demons get into families. Demons get into people. Jesus, let's go south. Let's get out of here. This woman's driving us crazy. We don't like the food. We don't speak the language. We don't know the culture. What are we doing here? How many know Jesus never did anything by accident? We'll come back to that in just a moment. But let's read on. Send her away. Jesus is given a theological discourse here. I was not sent except to the lost sheep of Israel. I got 3 years to bring salvation to the world, and my ministry right now is for the house of Israel. Yes, but. Then she came, you can't stop this woman. You can't run her off. And worshiped him, saying, Lord, help me. Help me. But finally he answers her. He's ignoring her on purpose. Now he's going to answer her. It's not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. Now, if you said that today, if you called a woman a dog today, probably get slapped or talked back to a little bit. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, back in those days, some of you know this, it was a term, not of endearment, but it was and not always disparaging, it was just a term. Gentiles were dogs. Jews, Gentiles. Jews, dogs. And she's a little dog because she's a woman with no husband, probably no son, which means on the social ladder, you're at the bottom rung of society going back 2,000 years ago. And she said, verse 27, yes, Lord. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with who you are and your calling, but even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. And Jesus broke into a smile, I would venture to say, dropped his jaw and said, oh, woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that very hour. A couple of points as we close. How frightening as a mother is it to have a child with an incurable disease? Some of you have been down that road. How horrifying is it to hear that your daughter or a son has something that medical science can't do anything about, except maybe painkillers, maybe extend life. It's beyond horrific. So here we have a woman whose daughter has an incurable disease. It's demon possession. Nothing's going to help this woman. But she hears, I'm fascinated because we don't know, but she hears about this Jesus way up in Lebanon, what we call Lebanon today, way up in the area of the Sidonians. She hears there's this Jewish prophet that can do all kinds of miraculous things. Not only cast out devils, he raised the dead, walk on water, open blind eyes, cripples walk. This is my subjective idea on this. This is like a missions trip. This is a precursor to the book of Acts. This is a precursor to Paul. This is a precursor to Jesus teaching his disciples, I'm not just the Messiah of the Jews. I'm the King of the universe. I am the Savior of the world. We're going to go on a mission trip. I'm going to take you to a culture, to a people, to a language, to a region, to religion you're not privy to, you're not experienced in, and I'm going to show you what I can do to even the most severe cases of doubt, unbelief, possession, what have you. And so he takes these boys on a missions trip. And I think through word of knowledge, word of wisdom, he figured out what's going on, because everything Jesus did was to teach his disciples. And I think he let her hang out to dry a little bit just to show these men what happens when somebody has persistence who's not even a Jew. doesn't have a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, an outsider, hated, reviled. These were racist. These were racist. These people were, Paul was a terrorist, and Paul was an absolute terrorist, Saul of Tarsus. And Jesus is showing, like the Samaritan woman at the well, what are you doing talking to me? Now watch, another point here. Women didn't talk to men. It was against culture. It would be a social faux pas. It would cause gossip in the community. What are you doing talking to a man? Women didn't just talk to men. Women didn't chase after men. She's chasing after these 12, 13, and she's bugging them. And it's like, lady, the town's going to disown you. What are you doing? You're acting like a little cheap hoochie mama. What are you doing? You leave it. I'm sorry. I just had a little slip there. It's like, I don't care. Listen, I'm a mother. I don't care about cultural do's and don'ts. I don't care about protocol. I'm a mother. My daughter is dying. This demon's killing my daughter. And I hear this man can help. I'm crossing every border and every line set by community and culture. If this man being a Jew, I don't care. I don't care what people say. My daughter's going to get healed. My daughter is going to get healed. My daughter is going to get healed. And so Jesus kind of throws a few things at her to see how strong her faith is. Sorry, lady, it's not the time of the Gentiles. That's coming later. I got to get crucified, anoint Paul. About 10 years from now, the gospel is going to spread around the world. She does not want to take a class in eschatology or theology. I ain't got no 10 years. Because the church, the first 10 years of the church was pretty much a Jewish church. It was even hard for Peter and those guys to get it that Jesus died for everybody. It's like, sorry, ma'am, but I'm the bread of life. And healing is the children's bread. And I'm a Jew, and I'm here to minister to the Jews. But 10 years from now, there'll be a preacher come by. And what she says is brilliant. Kenny, she goes, hey, Mr. Bread of Life, I don't need a loaf. I don't even need a slice. You keep your bread. Go back and do whatever you got to do in Israel. Just leave a crumb. You can get out of here. Leave me a crumb because I know who you are. And all I need is a crumb of your power. And my daughter will be healed. Just a crumb. Just leave me a crumb. And when Jesus heard that, that's what he was waiting for. What'd she do? She saved her trump card to the end. She was playing her hand. Have mercy on me. Didn't work. Oh, Lord, didn't work. She was playing her hand, but she had a trump card. And when she pulled that trump card out, just leave a crumb, I'm out of your face. He said, go. By the time you get home, your daughter will be delivered. Your daughter will be healed. Wow. Wow. Amazing. The story of a woman who would not give up. There's mothers here today. Don't give up on your children. Don't give up on your grandchildren. My God, I remember I was the least candidate for a Christian church, let alone up here. But my grandma loved me unconditionally. So did my mama. Even when I was going through crazy times, doing crazy things. I always knew I was welcome at their house every Sunday for lunch. No matter who I brought, no matter what I was doing, high, hungover, out of money, borrowing money, never judged me. I was always, hey, Dickie, how you doing? Love you. We love you, Dickie. So let's be patient. Let's be patient with our children. And let's lay hold of our covenant promise with Jesus. You see, when she got a hold of the hand of Jesus, I'm not leaving till you bless me. And the 12 guys are yelling at her, you all shut up. You church people shut up. Well, you're an idolat, shut up. But you notice what Jesus didn't do? He didn't say, oh, let me tell you why your daughter's, this is what church people do. Let me tell you why your daughter's demon-possessed. All them demons you got in your house, all them demons your family worship. Well, of course, you made your bed, sleep in it. See, Jesus doesn't hold our past against us. Jesus wasn't blaming her. Even the last week, the prodigal's father, the son was confessing all his sins. He goes, oh, shut up, son. Here's the robe, here's the ring. Come on, we're gonna have a party. You were lost, now you're found. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. Mothers who don't give up touch heaven. Stand up, everybody.